Hello everybody, it's Dave Signorini again, and this is my week 2 assignment, my memorable speech. A story that I do like to talk about with some of my friends is a story that is very near and dear to me, and that is a story about my wedding day. How it almost didn't go the way that was planned, and how it almost didn't happen on a day that we wanted it to. To go back into the past, me and my wife, my fiance at the time, were together for many years. We were engaged, we lived together, but we never really discussed when we wanted to get married. I guess we always thought someday in the future we'll end up getting married, but we never really put any planning into it. Well, one day I went to work and I was told that I will be going to the Middle East for a year for deployment. So I knew I had to come home that evening and tell her about that, so that way we had to figure out some things. And while we were discussing that, we also decided, hey, it's about time that we get married. We didn't want to hurry up and rush and get married right before I left, because I was actually leaving in a couple weeks. We decided that we would get married after I got back from that year-long deployment. Well, when I went on my deployment, we talked about our wedding all the time and planned over Skype or even talking over the phone. We decided that our wedding would be simple. We would just go to a courthouse, but we would have a really nice reception where family and friends can come in and celebrate with us. Well, I was getting back from the desert on September 10th, and we picked the wedding day of September 17th. We figured 7 days later, that'd be plenty of time for us to travel up to Pennsylvania, where we were going to get married at, and get everything ready for our reception. Well, September 17th came. We drove to the courthouse as planned, and the courthouse was closed. We didn't know what we were going to do. I remember my wife looking at me going, now what are we going to do? The courthouse is closed, and we have no backup plan on how we're going to get married. And our reception is in a few hours, where family and friends traveled in. And what's the plan now? Are we going to cancel everything, lose our money for the hall, and reschedule everything for another day? Or are we going to have our reception and tonight and celebrate and decide to get married a different day? Well, luckily, one of the friends that were with us happened to know a preacher that was in the area that he called up, and that preacher invited us over to his house and told us that he would marry us in his living room. He invited us into his house and the friends and family that were with us, and he married us right there in his living room, and was very nice about the whole ordeal. We invited him to the reception that evening to help celebrate with us. And what's really great about the preacher and getting to meet him is that we actually still stay in touch with him to this day. The reason why this story is so memorable to me is because we did a lot of planning for this day to go well, and it seemed like that day when we woke up, nothing seemed to go right. Luckily, we found the preacher that was willing to marry us. We got to go enjoy our reception with our family and friends. And all in all, in the end, it all ended up being wonderful, and everything worked out great for us.